Alright, chase flag with the blue futon. This is something different I'm going to do. A lot of people out there are like, oh, let me see your room. Do a room tour. So what I'm going to do instead of that, because it's kind of a small room and you have the movies, and I see a lot of other people doing it, so I'm just going to give you a list of every single movie that I own, show you it, so you can actually see like what I actually own and what you can see reviewed in the future. But for this video, we are doing numbers. Let's roll the intro and let's see these So like I said, this is going to be my first one with the numbers, and if I screw this up, I'm sorry. We're not going to edit this at all. This is going to be like through and through. So let's just get started. So the first movie I do own is called Two Guns with Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. It is a fun movie. I think this is directed by, nope, not who I thought it was going to be directed by. It's directed by a Russian. But Two Guns, I do own it. This is a fun little movie, in my opinion, that didn't get as much love as I think it should have. All right, let's continue on. Oh, my nose itches, guys. So let's just continue on with it and go. What is next? Because even I forget I own some of these movies. 3 Days to Kill. Oof, I don't remember this movie that well. Well, Amber Heard's in it. She's kind of canceled nowadays. But yeah, has an unrated version. Kevin Costner. Oh, it's directed by McG. I did not know that it was directed by McG. Guys, my nose itches really bad. But 3 Days to Kill, I think it was an okay movie. It's probably one of the movies where I bought was like on sale during like a Black Friday. But yeah, 3 Days to Kill. I forgot I even owned this movie. Alright, next we have is Three from Hell Unrated, the 4K version. This is the third movie in an anthology of House of a Thousand Corpses, as well as The Devil's Rejects. This is one movie that I don't think is going to look that great in 4K because I haven't watched it again. I've only watched it in theaters. But yep, Three from Hell, the unrated version, 4K. Ah! So the next one we have is 310 to Yuma, the Criterion Collection. As you can tell, it's still in the plastic, so I haven't seen it. I was on a Criterion Collection binge, and this is one of them because like if I own the one that with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe, which is right there, I gotta watch the original because it's from 1957. It must be that good of a movie. Alright, of course, you know with that one, we have the next 310 to Yuma with Russell Crowe and Christian Bale. This was directed by, James Mangold. How can I not remember that name? But I remember liking this a lot. I think this one got a lot of critical praise of how it is actually way better than a lot of people thought. But yeah, 310 to Yuma times 2. Guys, my nose is so bad right now. All right. Six Souls. Okay, I remember this movie. Julianne Moore and John Rhys Meyers. This was delayed for such a long time, and I think this did go into theaters in America for maybe a week, but this was more of a movie that was shown in Europe and really didn't get a lot of US audiences. I don't think this is a good movie at all, guys. Like, at all. Because there's a reason why people don't know about this movie. But yeah, Six Souls. I don't remember this movie at all. Alright, guys. So let's go with Twilight Time, which Twilight Time doesn't exist anymore, but we have 8 heads in a duffel bag. Joe Pesci, as well as if you look on the back, we got a young David Spade right there, like extremely young David Spade. Holy cow. Guys, my nose is so bad right now, but we're going to continue this. What Twilight Time, there's only 3,000 of these. I know this didn't get that good reviews, but hey, you know what? I think I got it for like $3 or like $7 because Twilight Times was having a sale, like trying to get rid of their stuff. And so I was like, you know what? I might as well get it because it could be worth more in the future. All right, next we have 8 Mile. Of course, Eminem, Kate Basinger, Brittany Murphy, as well as Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie does not get enough love in this movie. Since Universal is doing 4K releases, I would not be surprised if 8 Mile gets a 4K release soon because they just released the Sting and Animal House getting one. So 8 Mile, what do I think about Eminem? I think he's not as good as he used to be. There we go. Alright, so the next one we have is 8mm. Holy cow. Nicolas Cage, Joaquin Phoenix. This is what you call Joe Schumacher makes this one. This is like Joaquin Phoenix going weird. But this is a snuff. This is a very much a snuff porn film about going this deep, deep, dark secrets of like it's a dirty movie, guys. Very, very dirty. It's rated R for like strong, perverse sexuality and violence for strong language. I just remember this just being like, shit. but it's a good movie. 8mm. When I saw this one gain a Blu Ray release, I said, you know what, I gotta pick this up because, yeah, it's that messed up. Alright, so the next one we have is 9. So I already reviewed 9, so I already know own this one. But yeah, when I rewatched it, I think it's a fun movie. It really is a fun movie to watch. But 9, another one where if it gets a 4K release, I would transfer it over because I think a lot of the animated ones do look great in 4K quality. Another one, let's go with this, The Ninth Life of Louis Drax, which I have not seen it. The only reason I bought this one is because it was cheap, as well as I watched High Tension and a lot of Alexandre's Aja movies. He also did, I think, Piranha 3D, 3DD actually, or is it just 3D? Anyway, but this is more of like a supernatural movie. He does mostly like horror movies like Crawl. So I said, you know what? It has like James Jordan, Sarah Gordon, Aaron Paul. I gotta figure this out because it was pretty cheap and I'm like, it might be a good movie, but I haven't seen it yet. Alright, next one. 10 Cloverfield Lane 4K quality. No one expected this to be a good movie. People are like, this is a Cloverfield movie? What? And even though the Cloverfields even though the monsters don't come to the very end, people enjoyed this movie for what it was and what it was trying to do, and it completely worked. Unlike, 10 or Cloverfield Paradox, the space one really didn't work because it was not a Cloverfield movie until the very end, and it is kind of the same way, but this is more of a grounded movie that works extremely well. But yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane, really well made. Don't know what the 4K quality looks like though. Oh boy, we have 10 minutes gone. I am a Bruce Willis fan, even though a lot of people don't like what he's doing. A lot of the stuff he's doing is kind of doing cash grabs, trying to just get a quick $1 million here and there. But yeah, it's one of the ones where I think it's at Best Buy or, Black Friday for like $3.99 or $5. 10 minutes gone. It could be an awful movie because I still haven't seen it. Alright, another Twilight Time. 10 North Frederick. I have not seen this one as well. Like I said, I bought a lot of Twilight Time movies. I want to say like 20 of them when they were like going out of business and they just had to get rid of their sale. And this was one of them I decided to buy. So have I seen it? No clue. Do I even know what it's about? Not really. But hey, I own it. Another one. Twilight Time. 10 Remington Place. Is it Place or Palace? Place, yes. Have I seen this one? Negative. It's another one of the Twilight Times, but I do own it, and it does have John Hurt in it. So it's 1971. Let's see what it's about. Alright, continue on with Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles, when Julia Stiles was huge. 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah, the 10th anniversary edition. But it says like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it, and a lot of people. Who does not like this movie? This is one of those teen comedies that came out at the time like this. Not another teen movie. She's All That. This is one of them. And this is actually one of the better ones. Yes. Alright, we have 10 to Midnight Shout Factory. Have I seen this? No. Duh. It's in plastic still. But I bought this a long time ago. These movies, if you have the slipcovers on them, are worth a decent amount of money. So if you find them like at a random store with the slipcovers, I highly recommend you buy them because the market on eBay, it does go up at least double, probably double, easy. Next one, 10 Years. Wow. This is kind of a big cast. Justin Long, Channing Tatum, Oscar Isaac, Ron Livingston, Anthony Mackie, Kate Mara, Chris Pratt, Aubrey Plaza. That many people are in this movie? What? Wow. That's not Chris Pratt. Holy poop, that is. Wow. I do remember, I think I saw this a long time ago. I think I need to rewatch this. But it's all up to the number generator. But 10 years. Wow, that is an all-star cast. 12 Angry Men. What else do I have to say about this movie? Everyone's heard this movie. It's a classic. 12 Angry Men. Criterion Collection. You can't go wrong with this film. You can't. 12-hour shifts. This is actually a new movie. It has like David Arquette in it. Uh, People said it really isn't that good of a movie with. They say it's a good movie, but the timing isn't the best about what's happening with COVID. But we need to start just growing up and see if movies are good. But certified fresh. Does that mean anything? I don't know. But 12-hour shift. I just reviewed this one, 12 Monkeys. You know how I feel about it. They are coming out with a steelbook release. Arrow is. I think it's coming out in May. I hate that they do that. They're like, oh, here's this. But now here's a steelbook. And I love steelbook. So, bleh. 12 rounds. John Cena. John Cena. I mean, this is probably another ridiculous action movie just like The Marine. But yeah, Rennie Harlan directs it. Aidan Gillian, that's in Game of Thrones. He must be the bad guy. But 12 rounds. Apparently, I have 12 rounds volume 2. Like I said, I don't know half these movies I own, but this one is actually rated R, while the first one was PG-13. So they stepped it up with 12 rounds. Reloaded. And of course, I haven't seen this. That I haven't. 12 Strong Chris Hemsworth. Great movie. It is the horseback war movie. Not War Horse, but this is based in Afghanistan. I have reviewed this one when I was in Portugal. A good movie in my opinion. Very much down to earth, and I recommend this one as well. And the last one in the first pile, we have 12 Years a Slave. I think this one Best Picture. I think Lupa Nyong'o won Best Picture as well, or won Best Actor. I think Brad Pitt won an actor. Maybe Stevie Queen won directing as well. But anyway, this is one of the movies where people are like, "Oh, it's a one-time watch and done." Maybe. I don't know. I only watched it once, and I watched it when it first came out in 2012. Was it? But have I seen it since? No. But I feel like it's a movie where you need to own at least. It is. Alright, second pile, guys. We are at 13. Have you heard of this one? Michael Shannon, Alexander Skarsgård. Well, there's actually a lot of people in this movie. 50 Cent, Mickey Rourke, Jason Statham, Sam Riley. Yeah, a lot of people actually in this movie. But this is a dueling movie about, shooting people. That's what I remember, at least. But no, haven't seen it in quite some time. Alright, next one. 13 Assassins. Anything that Takashi Mike does, I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I will watch. 13 Assassins, a fantastic one of his movies. Blood, guts, gore, samurais, you can't go wrong. 13 Sins, guys. As you can tell, I haven't opened this. Don't know what it's about. Oh, 13 Tasks. Actually, this is a remake of a movie that came out. I own the one on DVD, actually. This is a remake of a movie that's in Vietnam or Thailand, but this is a remake. 13 Sins, as you can tell, I have not watched it. Next one, 13 Hours, the 4K release. Love this movie. This is one of Michael Bay's best movies. Fantastic movie. You've seen me review it. I gave it a 5 out of 5. This movie is always, to me, going to be a 5 out of 5 movie. And we'll just go with it because that was a 4K release. I do have the steelbook of the Blu Ray one. And actually, Best Buy does have the steelbook of the 4K one. But it's the exact same steelbook. So I'm like, do I really need a double dip for that one? Anyway. Next one, 14 Blades, Donnie Yen. This is interesting because a lot of Donnie Yen movies or movies like that go with Well Go USA. And this is actually a Anchor Bay. So I'm actually intrigued by this, but this is why I'm doing a movie a days, because like you see, I probably owned this forever. Haven't watched it. Next on the list, 15 Minutes. I own 15 Minutes. I don't even know what this is about. Kelsey Grammer's in it though. Edward Burns, De Niro. But yeah, 15 Minutes. Next on the list, the 1517 to Paris. So yeah, I felt like I had to buy this just because the subject matter, even though it's not really that good of a movie, the first time I watched it, just how he decided to use the real people involved. Uh, I do enjoy that aspect of it, but just the movie as a whole and the timeline aspect just didn't work for me. So, but yeah, 15, 17 Paris, I own it. Next on the list, 17 again. Okay, guys, this is Zac Efron movie where it's such an enjoyable movie. Thomas Lennon's in it, Matthew Perry. This is a guilty pleasure movie. I don't care what anyone says. 17 again is absolutely a guilty pleasure. Shoot me, don't shoot me. But if you don't like this movie, you don't have a heart because this is such a lighthearted, fun movie. Next on the list, 20. This is a South Korean movie that I had to find because when I was in Las Vegas, there was a movie because there's a decent Asian population there that it showed Korean films. And I watched this movie. I love this movie. This is such a hysterical, funny movie. The last battle, if you want to call it a battle, is so good, so funny. But if you go find 20, I highly recommend you watch this movie. Next on the list, 21. You saw me do a review of it. It's an okay movie, but the editing is so bad with casinos being, uh, you know, uh, you know, wow, not the Hard Rock. Yeah, well, Hard Rock as well as Red Rocks as well as Planet Hollywood. The editing was not good with knowing the casinos. 21 and over. This was the time of like the Hangovers, the Project X's, and 21 and over. I did have a fun time with this movie. This is back when Miles Teller was gaining his start, as well as Skylar Austin. Skylar Austin's the guy from Pitch Perfect. But I remember this just being a fun, silly movie. 12 Bridges. This is a movie that a lot of people did not see, and I highly recommend watching it. Chadwick Boseman, one of his movies before he passed away last year. But if you haven't seen 12 Bridges or 21 Bridges, sorry, I highly recommend you actually try to find this one out. What we have here is a steelbook of 21, 22 Jump Street. No one thought 21 Jump Street with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill was going to be a good movie. No one did. Everyone's like, they're redoing 21 Jump Street. They redid it. They revamped it. I wouldn't call it a reboot. They revamped it, and it works extremely well. I only wish there's the 23 Jump Street Man in Black crossover. Where is that? 24 Hours to Live. Have I seen this? No. But Ethan Hawke's an interesting character. He reads his scripts, he says, and he's very meticulous with what he goes with. So I feel like if he did 24 Hours to Live and he did a thing about how movies with guns like gets more money, but I mean he's in a movie with guns, so we'll see. What we have here, 28 Days Later. Holy cow! So this is a very, I wouldn't call it underrated. This is one of the movies where it first came out and people were just like, oh, another zombie movie. But Danny Boyle did something very different, and it's a very good zombie movie. Of course, you know what's happening next with 28 Days Later. It's 21 Weeks Later. And 21 Weeks Later is the sequel. Is it as good as the first one? No, not at all. But I remember it just being still a good, haunting zombie movie. But it's not as good as Days. We got 30 Days of Nights, Josh Hartnett vampire movie based in Alaska. I haven't seen this since I was in high school. I can't tell you how good it is nowadays. What we got apparently is the sequel. Have I seen this one? No! So let's just put it down. 30 minutes or less. Okay, this is another interesting one because this is after Zombieland came out. And everyone's like, oh, Zombieland's fantastic. This is going to be just as good because this is almost supposed to be based on like a true story. Or I think it was at least. Or like, a small short story. But a lot of people were disappointed because it wasn't as funny as it's supposed to be. I still think it's a silly movie that it works on some levels, but yeah, it was a disappointment. What we got here is 31, another Rob Zombie movie with his wife. This one was a weird one. This one was weird. I think actually this is my first movie I ever reviewed on my channel. And my first review, I decided to do something absolutely ridiculous. And I realized that editing was so dumb. What we have here is another Criterion, the 39 Steps after Hitchcock. I'm going to wait because average Hitchcock movies, they are coming out with some 4K ones. I know Universal did with like Birds, Vertigo, Psycho, and something else. But I'm waiting for like either Criterion or Universal to do just a 4K Hitchcock marathon. 40 Days and 40 Nights. I reviewed this one. It's an okay movie, kind of weird. 40-Year-Old Virgin, the movie that people thought would not work, and it completely worked. Sorry, guys. I think what people forget how funny, the funniest part of this movie, in my opinion, is actually the Kevin Hart scene. That is so funny in this movie. Does this movie drag out? That's the problem with Judd Apatow movies. Sometimes they're just too long. This one is long on some levels, but it's still a good movie. Last one for pile 2. We have 47 Meters Down. Another shark movie where people are just like, shark movie, but people are like, oh, it's actually not a bad shark movie. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. All right, continue on to the last pile. We have 47 Rowan in 3D. This one was in post-production delay hell. And when it finally came out in Christmas, it didn't do good in the box office at all. So, another shocking movie, 47 Rowan in 4K. Like, what? Universal decided to put this in 4K, and it was during the coronavirus issue, so they delayed it, and I think they decided to release it, but such a weird movie to decide to put on 4K. Who makes these choices? Classic. 48 Hours. I'm waiting for the, there's gotta be a 4K, just like, Beverly Hills Cops. There's gonna be a 4K release. Classic. That's all I need to know. 50-50. This is one of Seth Rogen's best movies. There are some issues with it, but it's such a great, heartfelt movie about cancer. I do feel like they try to go a little bit too funny on some levels of the subject matter, which I do understand. But, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But I still think this is a fantastic movie, from what I remember. 51st Dates. Adam Sandler gets a lot of flack. This one is a fun one. I don't care what anyone says. It's a fun movie, especially when you have a mom that was born in Hawaii and lived there since she was 18, and she dipped out. Yeah, she understands some of the references. 54, Director's Cut. Very much a disappointing movie. This movie to me went absolutely nowhere. But I still own it. Why do I still own it? I don't know. 68 Kill. This is the guy from Criminal Minds. That's why I bought it, because Matthew Gray Gilmore was in it. But have I seen 68 Kills? As you can tell, negative. But it is rated R for strong bloody violence, sexual content, and language throughout, some drug use, and brief nudity. So, yeah. One day I'll watch it. 99 Homes. Another movie where it kind of slipped under the radar about, evictions in homes. But yeah, have I seen this? No! But I still bought it. I just want to know where this movie company went. Broad Green Pictures? Yeah, it's not gonna. Sorry, guys, it's not gonna. But Broad Green Pictures, they kind of just fell off the wayside. Australian movie time. Bloody hell from England. Even though it's not Aussie accent, I don't know what I'm doing. 100 Bloody Acres. You recognize one of these people from the Saw franchise. He also directed The Invisible Man and other stuff like that, as well as that. Ooh, I forgot. But anyway, 100 Bloody Acres. Australian. Find if you can. Okay, this one I actually saw in theaters. The 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared. I think Will Ferrell was supposed to do a remake of this movie. I don't know where that remake went, if they were actually still doing it. But this is a fun, silly movie based in Sweden. I think it's a Swedish movie. If not, PewDiePie could stab me in the face. Oh, it is Swedish. Haha, I was right. Alright, next ones. We have Disney Classics. And I'm sorry to say it. You need to buy digital. Sorry. You need to buy physical release of Disney movies because they're starting to edit stuff. Censorship. Who knows if this one's going to be on there, but I do own 101 Dalmatians, the Diamond Edition, as well as the Steelbook. So anytime I get a Disney movie, I make sure I buy the physical copy nowadays because They're starting to censor them. Next, 127 Hours. I'm going to call this underrated movie because this should have done way better in the Oscars than it did. James Franco should have won the Oscar nom. Danny Boyle should have won. I think this year, 127 Hours should have won the Oscars just in general. I think it should have swept. Very underrated movie that I'm calling it underrated just because it really didn't do that good in the Oscars. And I think that's a crime. 2-1-1, a random Nicolas Cage movie. I own Nicolas Cage movies, guys. Nicolas Cage, because of the movie, I probably own it. So I just did my reviews of 300. So if you notice, I do own the 300 book. And I do like these ones. I like the count of the Matrix and other stuff like that. But I'm going to always keep these ones because it's fun little book, knowledge of how they filmed and stuff like that. So I do own that 300 as well as 300 the 4K release. Like I said before, 4K release was pretty good. Not the greatest, but it's still a fun movie. The movie made for 3D. 300. Rise of the Empire. Alright, we're almost done, guys, with the numbers. 500 Days of Summer. The chick flick movie that if you don't like chick flicks, you're going to like this one. Mark Webb did this one. He also did the Amazing Spider-Man movies. But yeah, 500 Days of Summer. Summer's her name, not the season. 1408. One of actually Stephen King's best adaptations. Issue though, why when you put stuff on DVD, why do you not give us, the Blu-ray people, the unrated as well as the rated version? Because I know for a fact when it came on Blu-ray, they only gave us the PG-13 version. Give us both versions. Come on now. 1911, a Chinese movie with Jackie Chan. Awful. Not a good movie at all. Why do I own it? Don't know. Might sell it. 1917, the movie that a lot of people love, and I thought was a good movie. I still haven't seen a 4K, and I'm pretty sure the 4K quality of this is absolutely going to be buku bananas good. But I do think it's a great movie that some dumb character choices. That's all I'll say. 1941, the movie that a lot of people don't like that Steven Spielberg directed. This one does come with the extended version theatrical. So yeah, it is a damn. The extended version is 30 minutes longer. So that just proves I really haven't watched this. Alright, last number, guys. And some people might call this a classic, or they might call it narcissistic, or as you could say, what's that word? Oh my gosh. Pompous, not pretentious. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Have I seen this? No. I will, though. I will. So anyway, that is my numbers. Guys, that is a long video, but thank you for watching if you did, to see what my numbers actually are. Next is, of course, A through. And if you thought the numbers were long, I might have to do some part 2 or part 3s because A's are 1, 2, 3 and a half. 3.25. It's really 3.25, so I might just do like A part 1, part 2. Oh, geez. But we're going to get to this, guys. Cheese like the Blue Futon. Comment, subscribe. One more thing, if you want to, Futon. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. My throat's dying.